We're going to start today's show with this afternoon's breaking news. I'm sure you heard it just via Ben Fletcher on the sports desk. Crystal Palace have now confirmed that Roy Hodgson has stepped down from his post as first team manager. Don't forget, of course, you can hear live and exclusive commentary of Palace's Premier League clash with Everton tonight. That's right here on talkSPORT straight after us. Let's stay with that story now. We're going to get more on this news with talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, as we welcome him to Drive Time. Crookie, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Happy New Week.
Happy New Week, is that a thing?
I've just invented it just for you guys.
Happy New Week, I quite like it. Happy Monday to you. Not a happy Monday if you're Roy Hodgson. He's had to step down. Tell us a bit more about this. Who made that decision? When was it made? And where does that leave Palace now?
Yeah, well, it's no surprise, is it? It was always a matter of when and not if Roy Hodgson parted company. We knew this was going to happen at the end of last week. No coincidence that Oliver Glasner was in the crowd at Tottenham, the match I was at for talkSPORT on Saturday, because, of course, Palace play Spurs in the not-too-distant future. He'll come in now on a contract until 2026. But obviously the timing has been very sensitive because Roy Hodgson was taken ill during training in front of the players and coaching staff last week. So I think Palace have just made sure that he's completely on the mend before making any kind of announcement. I think what's nice is that this has been dressed up as Roy deciding to stand down. So he's going out on his own terms. It's quite a nice statement actually from both sides. Roy Hodgson has said that Palace is a very special club, means so much to him. He says it's played a big part in my footballing life. I've fully enjoyed my time here across 6 seasons, of course, over 2 spells, as it's given me the chance to work with some top-class players and staff and doing what I love every day. However, says Roy, I understand, given recent circumstances, it may be prudent at this time for the club to plan ahead, and therefore I've taken the decision to step aside so the club can bring forward their plans for a new manager as intended for the summer. Steve Parish, the Palace chairman, who we understand accompanied Hodgson to hospital last week, says that Roy has a special place in Crystal Palace history and will never be forgotten after 4 years in which he led the club to maintaining Premier League status season after season. He once again joined us nearly a year ago to steady the ship and work wonders. He then agreed to continue in the summer, which speaks volumes about his commitment to our club. Quite simply, we owe our continued Premier League status to Roy. So nice words on both sides. The statement also confirms that Paddy McCarthy and Ray Lewington, of course, Ray Lewington in particular, very much Hodgson's trusted lieutenant. They'll lead the team in that vital relegation 6-pointer live on talkSPORT against Everton tonight. And then we would expect Oliver Glasner to be confirmed as Hodgson's successor.
Crookie, when you look back and what he's done for Crystal Palace, it's been a solid appointment. Roy Hodgson, he's done fantastically well with that football club. Do you think they look back at the appointing him in the summer as not a lazy appointment, but potentially they should have moved on then?
I think maybe both sides will feel that, because I don't think this is necessarily the way that Roy Hodgson would have wanted to bow out, not just to Crystal Palace, but you look at the career he's had in various countries. He's managed England, of course, at a major tournament. He's managed Liverpool. He's managed Inter Milan. He's regarded all around the world, not just in England. So to go out on a bit of a downer, I think is disappointing. And I think from Palace's perspective, it was probably a lazy appointment. They looked at the teams coming up from the Championship. In fairness, Burnley and Sheffield United have proved them right and thought, well, we're probably going to stay up whatever we do this season. That may well still be the case, but I think the way that Luton are playing has just sharpened minds, and they realise that maybe they need a bit of a kickstart, somebody to come in, as Hodgson himself did this time last year, and just get the points they need to make sure of Premier League status. But I think moving forward, the Palace fans are going to want to see a lot more ambition from Steve Parish. I don't think he comes out this particularly well.
Crookie, listen, if we're paying you £6 per interview, we may as well get our money's worth out of you and change the subject, but keep you on the line. I want to get your views following the news that Newcastle have put their sporting director Dan Ashworth on garden leave. He's moved to Man United, looks increasingly likely. Where are we at with this at the moment? My understanding is that Newcastle want north of £10 million compensation. United aren't going to budge anywhere near that sort of money, and I think from what I've read over the weekend, they can get him for virtually nothing if they have to wait till next year, but it seems a long time to wait. What is the very latest with that story?
Yeah, I think this is a bit of brinkmanship, really, on behalf of Newcastle. Some places have been quoting as much as £20 million. Nobody pays that for a sporting director. Clubs are even reluctant to buy managers out of their contracts. But clearly, he's the man that Manchester United want. He's already agreed to make that move to Old Trafford. And become a pretty key component into Jim Ratcliffe's new sporting structure. So I think this will get done. It's a question of when. Ideally, Manchester United want Ashworth in position to oversee the summer transfer window. It's going to be a massive summer for United, both in terms of players leaving the clubs and players coming in as well. So he's been placed on gardening leave. Not unusual. Same thing happened when he left Brighton for Newcastle, actually. And in the end, Newcastle had to pay a bit more maybe they wanted to in compensation in order to get him to start work earlier. So I think it's going to be a similar situation. And it won't come as a surprise to Dan Ashworth. I'm told that he and Manchester United are both pretty relaxed about the situation.
Crook, is it a fact that when he went to Newcastle, maybe that his hands were a little bit tired because of the FFP and then him going to Manchester United now, where obviously their revenue's massive? Do you think just at Newcastle he maybe felt like he couldn't do the job that he'd wanted to do, maybe potentially?
Yeah, I think so. And I think you have to feel a little bit sorry for Newcastle in that regard because they've got the money to spend. They're just prohibited from doing so. But I think also there's a lot of different people at Newcastle who want to have a say. So maybe Dan Ashworth didn't necessarily feel like he had the autonomy that he'll get at Manchester United. He'll come in to work directly under Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford. He'll appoint at least one, if not two, recruitment specialists to report to him as well. So I think he's going to get a lot more power. And I've mentioned it before, love them or not, Manchester United are still one of, if not the biggest club in the world. And if Dan Ashworth can come in and be the man who revitalises that sleeping giant, his reputation is made for life. It's a challenge you simply cannot turn down.
Crookie, thank you so much for coming
Cheers,
on. Always
Crookie.
a pleasure. Happy Monday to you. We'll speak to you a bit later on in the week, I'm sure.
Cheers, guys.
Listen, we'll talk about Roy Hodgson a bit later on in the show. We've got Danny Murphy alongside, right? So Danny knows him better than most. So it would be great to get Danny's view. And of course, Palace fans, if you want to react to that breaking news that Roy Hodgson has stepped down as your manager, you can. 03717223344. That's why shows like this on talkSPORT exist, so you, the football fan, can have your views on breaking news. We just talked about Manchester, and ever so quickly, we've got so much to cram into the first hour now because of that breaking news. A quick word about United yesterday. One of the questions I want to throw out there to United fans, and also Villa and Spurs fans, actually. United possible chances of getting top four, just 5 points off Aston Villa now, and only 3 points off Spurs. Who are your favourites for that fourth spot?
I'd still put Villa and Spurs ahead of you.
Okay.
But I think when it comes to, with the further we progress down the season, Villa in Europe, so will that take a little bit away from their focus?
Yeah.
But Spurs have got a straight run at it. They've got a clear run at it. They've got no European football to worry about. So it's week on week, game on game. But if Man United keep this momentum going, they'll give themselves a chance for sure. But I still think Villa and Spurs just ahead of them.
What did you make of the game yesterday? You and I have not spoken about the game.
No.
Okay. My
I thought
view...
at one stage, I thought 5-0.
Yeah, at least half time.
At least.
I said on the group, didn't I? It'd be 10. Mark my words, it'd be 10.
But
I just felt, listen, you know football much better than I do. On a pitch like that, right, where it looks quite small and it encourages, I think, end-to-end football, which both teams seem to enjoy playing. The chances that United had, I mean, it's literally your two passes from defending, pushing, turning that into attack.
Behind.
And I just thought United, after 5 or 10 minutes, I thought, here we go. This is going to maybe now.
A statement. Here we go, 5-6-0.
Why do you think United... I mean, they had 3 1-1 chances. They should be taking one of them.
Well, that's the problem. You didn't take your chances. If you don't take your chances, the game's always going to be close. But Luton, fair play to them. Ross Barkley completely controlled the game yesterday. You lot had silly bookings as well. Like Casemiro probably should have gone. Maguire got himself booked. Luke Shaw got himself booked. Although I don't think he was fit, Luke Shaw, because the way that I think it was Ogbeni was running past him.
Yeah.
That doesn't usually happen. But again, you take the points you can. But listen, the chances you guys missed. Garnacho trying to go around the goalkeeper.
Bruno.
Yeah, but that was Samuel Lokonga. What?
Unbelievable
Defending.
Threw his body out, his legs at it, yeah.
So you lot had chances to win the game. If you don't see teams off, like Manchester City, Erling Haaland, we will never see that again. He missed 4 good chances. If you don't do that, anything can happen.
So United fans would take calls on that 03717223334. I also want to get your views, United fans and football fans, on the role of a sporting director. Just a word from you because we're over, but I want to get your view on it.
I'm worried about that guy going to your club.
Well, not only that, but compensation now. They're talking about £10 million plus, right? Is that where football's at now, where you're paying so much money for a sporting director? I don't even know. No one really knows because their job's sort of shrouded in secrecy. No one really knows the exact role of a sporting director.
Well, you've only got to look at what he did in the England national team.
Yeah.
England set up the Brighton.
Yeah.
Newcastle, maybe hands were a little bit tired, but his resume speaks for itself. And you look at Manchester United in terms of their transfers over the last couple of you've wasted so much money.
Well, not waste, just too much money spent.
Well, you've wasted it. Anthony's been a waste.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've wasted money on players. You go, what, really? And then you look around other areas of the Premier League and go, how have they found him? But the fact that now you've got a guy in there who knows exactly what he's doing, it's a worry.
Okay.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.